Hello there, you beautiful people! My name is Willow, and welcome back to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever for a 6v6 played on the map Adaptive Millennium. Let's go ahead and get into player introductions, starting with Team 1 in the north and ending with Team 2 in the south. And we're gonna begin with the Purple Aeon, going first air by the name of Ponysaurus. Then we can make our way up to the north to a Pink Aeon going first air, and his name is fittingly enough Beautiful Soup, and he is like you, incredibly beautiful. Then we can move on to the Gray UEF to the east going first land, and his name is a Flying Roach. Then to the further east, we have ourselves a Red Seraphim going first air, and his name is Tetra. Next up, we have a Gray Aeon, or Dark Green Aeon, I guess is more accurate, and he is, of course, the Eggroll. Then we have ourselves a Green Cybran going first land, and he is none other than Silent Scourge 69. Very nice number there at the end. As we move on to Team 2, and starting with the man walking to the middle, he has himself a beautiful name, and he is a Purple Cybran going first land, and that name, of course, is gonna be Book of Guns. Yet again, like last time, I expect great things from his first comm upgrade. As we move on to the Green Aeon on the plateau, going first air by the name of Rainbow Turtle. Then we can move to the west with the Blue Cybran going first land. His name is Thunderer, and he is thundering his way forward. Next up, we have a Yellow Cybran going first land, and unfortunately, it's your funeral. Then we have ourselves an Orange Cybran, lots of Cybrans for Team 2, going first land. His name is Tarai, or Terai, something like that. And last but not least, of course, we have a White UEF going first land by the name of Roomy Ranto 001. Then, with all the players introduced, we can look at the map, see what's going on, look at things happening. All of these rocks over here reclaimed by Book of Guns. And then we have ourselves the rocks over here being reclaimed by Ponysaurus. And that's kind of how this early game is going to go, at least for now. We can go ahead and just go to a little bit more of a cinematic view while I explain the map to you. We do have some comms shooting each other, nothing too spicy from what I can tell so far. But the way this map works is it's sectioned into 3 lanes. You have this middle area here, which is its own kind of lane where you're going to see a lot of fighting between the 3 players respectively on each side. And then you have these 2 lanes on the side where one player in particular, particularly in this game, the purple and light purple player are going to be at odds with the white and green player. Unfortunately, though, for them, they don't really have any access to teammates, so they're usually left a little bit on an island, per se, and they're going to have a little bit of trouble with the game because they are in a kind of disadvantaged position, but they do get access to a few more mass extractors than the player directly opposite of them. So, with the map explained and the players introduced, let's see what's going on as far as action is concerned. We have a early bomber, and I was expecting to see a lot of these. We may have missed a couple. Out here from Tetra, already picking up a few engineer kills and moving on to its 6th kill, a Murderer at Heart. And with all of these kills is getting a lot of value, really seemingly shutting down the overall productiveness of this base out from Roomy Ranto. He lost almost 5 engineers to a single bomb, and that's going to be really unfortunate for him. He only has 3 engineers left over after the early harassment out from that bomber. Another bomb going to come in and pick up at least 1 engineer, almost had 3 there, and with 8 kills, this bomber has led a very, very full life. Is going to try and get in and get another bomb off to kill off these last 2 engineers. Will he manage it? It does seem as though that's going to be the case. So that's going to bring us all the way up to 11 kills, and almost all of them, if not all of them, onto engineers. Tetra going to be very happy with the performance of his early air aggression, and he's going to be safe with the knowledge that the western side of the map is hurting after that. So we now have the mid-game to start looking at. We're passing the 5-minute mark. No exceptionally early cheese going to be effective in this game. Nobody is going to be able to just come out and get an early kill with a comm. It seems everybody has been sensible and has fallen back when they need to. Book of Guns and, of course, Silent Scourge 69, the more aggressive kind of lane right now. They had their comms quarreling with each other not so long ago. Speed and range now on the way for Silent Scourge. In the middle, we have T2 on the way for a flying roach being assisted by Tetra. So we're going to have very, very early T2 structures out on the field here, as long as, of course, a flying roach can keep his economy together well enough to spam out those triads, because that's what you're assumingly going to be wanting to get. With T2 done on a flying roach, is he going to repay the favor and help out Tetra in getting his own T2 upgrade? We'll see, but Tetra seemingly having a strong economy right now, able to do it on his own. The upgrade assistance comes in, and teamwork. It is so beautiful, just like you all down in the comments telling me about your day right before you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and the like button, because you are 6 minutes into a cast and you're enjoying yourself. It's a very nice time, you're having a good time, and you want to help the channel grow. With that out of the way, of course, we can go ahead and see how upgrades are going along for the other team. T2 now on the way for Rumi Ranto. We don't have any upgrade for It's Your Funeral or Terai. Thunderer has just focused on getting up more unit production, and overall the unit production out from Team 2 looking really good here in the middle of the map. On the eastern side, speed and range about to finish up now for Silent Scourge 69. We have a few air incursions and fights going on here. A lot of air units coming out over here for Rainbow Turtle, and he's at odds with the air units coming out from Tetra. Seems like he might just be trying to airlock the air player of Team 1, Beautiful Soup, but doesn't seem like he's going to get that. Some T1 bombers out from Tetra doing a bombing campaign on the land units in the middle. No kills picked up just yet. Oh, nope, only 2 kills picked up so far. But unfortunately, that's going to be shut down pretty easily by the interceptors in the area, as well as a mobile AA or 2 that's been kicking around for a little bit. And that's going to result in very little going on. Seems like Team 2 really wants to push here in the middle, but with the T2 PD going up, as well as this T1 sitting over here, going to be very hard for them to find any purchase in attacking the middle of the map, so that's most likely going to just remain as a bit of a stalemate right now, as Team 1 doesn't have the units to push forward, and Team 2 cannot deal with the T2 PD as of this moment. We have walls being built on both sides of these pawns in kind of mirror positions, just trying to stop any kind of run by through this very narrow choke point, which can be very annoying for certain players to deal with. Of course, it doesn't stop the beautiful, beautiful Aeon who say, "Ha! Your water, I laugh at your water, I go over it." And over here to the east, Book of Guns falling prey to his own namesake, the gun upgrade from Silent Scourge, starting to wreak havoc on Book of Guns' frontal production line. Is he going to be able to produce enough units to push off this very, very powerful early Cybern Guncom? Does not seem to be the case, as Silent Scourge is just really hemming Book of Gun into this corner. He's ecoing really well behind this, but he needs to make sure he does not capitulate and fall to this Guncom and overwhelming army out of Silent Scourge. Otherwise, he's going to be in a very, very rough position moving forward. He does have T2 land now finished up. We could see some rhinos mixed in, the also powerful unit of choice for the T2 phase of the game in the Cybern space. And now Silent Scourge just continuing to harass these factories. He wants to eventually lower their HP low enough to get an overcharge or 2 in to kill them off. He's also got this speed upgrade. He wants to kill off some units, maybe get a rank of veterancy or 2 for his troubles. He's trying to keep his own units back as far as possible to make sure any damage that is thrown out onto that commander and not onto his units. Anything that moves forward is immediately obliterated by this Mantis horde out from Silent Scourge. He needs to make sure that he's not falling prey to the Medusa spam coming out from Book of Guns. Book of Guns going to get his own gun upgrade, but is it too little and is it too late? We'll have to see. As T2 engineers are coming onto the field, he's going to start throwing up Cerberus in the main base, but this is a dire situation. Needs to make sure he holds here. A lot of T1 pigeons going to start going down in rapid succession. They're all right here on this side of the map. If he can just push down and really shut down the power production of Book of Guns, he could be in a very, very happy position. Unfortunately for him, though, Book of Guns does finish up the gun upgrade. The Cerberus looking like it may be allowed to finish up, and that will definitely put an end to this aggression coming out from Silent Scourge. But Silent Scourge more than happy to keep running in, keep on trying to kill off more and more power generators, and more importantly, killing off the production. If he kills off all of this production here, there is very little recourse for Book of Guns to bounce back and attack back off of this. He now has a lot of support coming in from his ally Thunderer, finally seeing the problem on this eastern side and showing up with a large army of his own, trying to force Silent Scourge off of this point. We've looked at this side of the map a little bit too long, though, as on the western side, we have T2 and Tactical Missile finished up for Rumi Ranto, and he's rushing a tactical nuke upgrade, but this is a tactical blunder, and oh no, it's a disaster. So, in case you don't know, there is no world in which he can afford building one of these tactical nukes. It's a cheese play, but the problem is this doesn't work as a cheese because you need way, way more power than you would think. Just upgrading it is like 3,000 power. It's a T3 pigeon just to get the upgrade, and then you need more if you want to build those missiles in any kind of quick fashion. Over on the eastern side, Book of Guns has recovered along with the help of Thunderer, and now there is a huge reclaim field for him to get into here. 3,000 mass just 10 minutes into the game is massive, and he will be able to get up maybe even T3 mexes and T3 land production off of that if he plays it really smart. Just needs to be careful with the gun comm and keep using it to dissuade any further attack out from Silent Scourge. Meanwhile, Tactical Nuke still on the way. He is determined to get this upgrade. Over 1,000 power a second being used. He's also building a normal missile at the same time. How is he? He is living off of overflow. Bless his heart, he is trying his best. Maybe he's trying to bank on the fact that a T3 power will be finished up at some point by his air player, but his air player is a 500 rated. In fact, both air players, the lowest rated players in the game, meaning that this air player is just a little bit behind the curve, and that's not to throw shade at anybody. We are all new or bad at one point, or maybe we still are, and it's okay. It's okay to be bad at the game. It's okay to not be a sweaty tryhard like me and a whole bunch of other people. I'm a sweaty tryhard, but I'm also just a failure, so cancels out and I meet somewhere in the middle. But you don't have to be a Thurnis. You don't need to be a Jagged or a Grimplex. You can be a Willow. And you know the thing about Willows? They're beautiful. Just like you all. Especially when you hit the subscribe button. Lots of you aren't hitting that button, but you are watching, so hit it. Come on. You know you want to. Take your anger out. Just grab a hammer and slam it into that subscribe button. And of course, Tactical Nuke. It's gonna finish. You know what? I'm rooting for Rumi Ranto. Rumi Ranto, he's a man of many tastes, but right now he is just in the mood for some fine cheddar, as he's gonna just destroy his entire economy and chance at ever fielding a decent army for the vain attempt of nuking people without using nukes. And it looks like he very well may just be able to do that. There's only one TMD, so he could get some huge value off of this, but Ponysaurus has just kind of sat back, ecoed. He's at T3 mass extractors already. He's working on T3 land. He's going to be in a very strong position very soon. Tactical Nuke is done, and he is building a TMD. Can I see the progress on the nuke itself? No, I can't. Alright, well, he's trying his best. We got to keep an eye on that. In the middle, it's been very boring. No fighting going on. It's just these two side flanks. And this is generally what you see. The middle kind of turtles up, and then these two flanks become a powder keg. And usually you're going to see one side win each of the two flanks. And that is how we get kind of rotational movement. It's just a constant circle going around the map where you're going to see these players kill each other eventually. But we're not quite there yet. we can go ahead and check in. T3 Air now finished up for Beautiful Soup, and he's working on his T3 power generator. He has a bunch of Mercies just sitting around, you know, in case. And then on the other side, there's some T2 power, but T3, not even a thought in the mind of Rainbow Turtle. He is just chilling, not really worrying about it whatsoever. And with Tactical Nuke done, he is building that missile so slowly. My guess, he's probably power stalling. Yep, that's a power stall. You remember when I was talking about, oh yeah, by the way, you know, you really can't afford this upgrade without T3 Pigeons online. You really can't afford it without T3 Pigeons online. And that's very unfortunate, as Gunthers and Vipers are causing him a lot of pain. Gonna have to fall back here soon. But the problem is, fall back to what? What does he have to fall back to? Very, very little is the answer. Just took a drink of water. Make sure you stay hydrated, everybody. And of course, we have more FAF to look at here today, as Roomy Ranto abandons his position. He either needs to build a lot of power, or for his teammates to get a lot of T3 power online. One teammate has T3 power. He is eating all of his team's overflow, that's for sure. And he has about 3,000 power generation. That's all of his team's overflow at the moment, as he has very little power generation himself. But that's just not enough. This first tactical nuke is going to come in woefully too late to make any kind of difference in his game. But we're still rooting for him, because it's so funny to see. You just love to see it. As over here to the east, we have, of course, Thunderer. He's working towards T3 land. T2 land is what we're still settling on at the moment for Book of Guns, but he's building up some Gunthers. Very interesting to see both sides using those artillery pieces. 5 miasma over here, a very hefty investment, but does stop things in future, like if there was a Fat Boy, and does give him a decent area of passive control, where it's hard to have units just exist if you're on the enemy team. And Aras now finishing up for the Eggroll, who has been suspiciously quiet this game, but now we know why. Sitting on 253 mass a second, the man has ecoed. And, might I say, eco horde. At 253 mass a second, the only other player even close to matching him is Terai, and he is 40 mass a second behind. And then It's Your Funeral and a slew of other people between 130 and 100. And then everybody else is below 100 mass a second. Right now, I'm looking at Eggroll and saying, you have the economy, make something happen. And we'll have to see exactly what that something is as we get further into this game. And we have a bit of a lull here, so I'm going to go ahead and speed up the game to just +2, because neither side really feels like attacking at the moment, and you know what, that's okay. We're just trying to get ourselves all the way to that late game, apparently. We want to see the big robots beat each other over the head, and by golly, we're going to make it happen, alright? Alright. Still not much happening. Lots of scouting. Love to see it. Love to see that focus on intelligence. T3 Air now on the way. And that was the Billy Nuke. What did it get? I don't know. How many kills? How many kills was that? That was 72 kills! Okay, he must have gotten some with the commander. But there's a bunch of Mercies flying in! And are they going to get anything? No, they will not! Thanks to a bouncer on the ground taking out all of those Mercies. And Roomy Ranto, I can't believe that all 72 kills were just that nuke. But hey, he's making it happen. He's no longer power stalling. He is mass stalling, though. It would be nice to do this without mass stalling. But it's 40 mass a second to build it, and he's only making 52, and he's getting a T3 factory upgrade, and building scouts. Just a little bit too much for the man, and building mass storage. eventually he will have another nuke loaded. And that time will come at some time in the future, and he's getting T3 because he wants to build the Billy nukes even faster. But I don't think you can with the economy being the way it is. And now T3, I think, just finished up for Tetra. No, he just started it in the base. And Eggroll is still just ecoing. He's still just gonna sit here and eco, but he's been surpassed! Oh my word, he's been surpassed by Terrai, who's just got to Rasboys incredibly quickly, and he's building them with everything he has. So despite Eggroll being a greedy boy, not quite able to keep up with the Orange Menace, the highest rated player in this game, Terrai, as he throws a huge scout wave over the bases. Ponysaurus also sitting on a very healthy economy. Team 1 in general, very ahead economically. And we'll be very surprised if we don't see something spicy, and we do indeed get just that, as the Eggroll walks forward, and that is not a hallucination. There is no deception going on here. The Eggroll is going to try and build Tempests on Adaptive Millennium. Can they hit this entire base? If they can, that's a huge heads-up play. If they can't, then at least they'll be a very good anti-experimental force, because 8,000 alpha damage is a lot. But very interesting play coming out from the Eggroll. That's a very big fish in a very small pond. And of course, that means he's going to be throwing this incredible amount of eco behind Tempests, and my lord! The HP is flying on this thing. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. He's just throwing HP on this like it want nothing. He's just building this Tempest. He's fabricating. He's just a magician. He's just conjuring it out of thin air. And here's the Tempest. It's gonna be done in like 20 seconds. Oh my word. It claims 58 seconds, but we know that's a lie. Yeah, that's a huge lie. Tempest gonna be done momentarily. And now, the Eggroll with our first experimental finished. What can he make happen with it? What is the range of that floaty big boy? Oh, it can hit all of this base. Oh, the floaty big boy gonna be painful. And he's not stopping with one. How many Tempests will this man build? Well, that is to be answered shortly. There is a Gunther, but that Gunther has a very low chance of winning the artillery race with a Tempest. With some really janky targeting, the Tempest may be able to fire over this and hit this base in the back despite its range. Over here to the west, though, we have Strat Bombers trying to kill off Rumi Ranto. It seems as though Beautiful Soup doesn't want to deal with the Billy Nuke anymore. Not that he's fired very many, he's only managed to get out one. He was forced to cancel off that T3 upgrade, and now a huge land force coming out from It's Your Funeral trying to protect Rumi Ranto, or more importantly, trying to protect his orange ally, although I don't think Terrai would have too much struggles finding a way to deal with this. He is on such a colossal economy, up 332 per second. Eggroll not far behind him at 300, about 40 mass a second, separating these players pretty much across the game. And 4 Cerberus go down. The Tempest already up to 20 kills and 14,000 mass killed, already about to pay itself off. It only costs something like 22,000 mass. Yep, so it's going to be able to pay itself off quite easily. We also have Rambo, or I guess Shield Combatant preset. SCU is coming out onto the field to try and help out in this attack. He really just wants to put the screws to Book of Guns and really shut down his options here. And with Book of Guns being taken out, it would mean that both sides of the map are going the way of Team 1, and Team 1 looking strong at this point. My eyes are on Terrai, though. He needs to come up with something to win the game for his team. Sure, you can sit on 400 mass a second, but if you're not doing anything with it, it's not very impressive. Has a ton of Corsairs and Strat Bombers sitting around, gonna be going for snipes. Critically, the game is being played on share until death, so a snipe at this stage in the game is critically terrible. And we have our first attempt as a whole bunch of Revenants coming out. They're going to be targeting, I believe, the egg roll. I can't see anything else, but they're going to have to ground fire and get damage through the water. Is egg roll going to die here? I don't know. He's going to take a lot of damage. Might want to go deeper into the water. Down to 293 HP. He's going to try and get out of the water now, but there's Corsairs still sitting in tow. He could call in the Corsairs to cause damage. Instead, sends the Corsairs over to the west to try and deal with that army out from Ponysaurus. Billy Nuke does not quite hit the mark over there on the eastern side, and 2 Tempests are done. A shield being thrown up quickly, and then a Radiance soon after. Those AA really helping out Eggroll there, but now he's in a rough position and needs to be careful and needs to make sure that commander doesn't die. Probably safe to send it back, maybe even to the base of Tetra, as the Tempests just continue to dole out pain and suffering. And over here to the east, with the assistance of the Tempests, it seems as though the army out from Silent Scourge has just been able to dominate. And now Book of Guns has been relegated to sitting in the back lines with Rainbow Turtle. It's Your Funeral has built a Monkey Lord, but that's gonna do nothing. If he sends it forward anywhere but the western flank, it is just completely useless. The Tempests kill a Monkey Lord. They beat it. Mass for mass, one-on-one, they beat the Monkey Lord. So that is interesting. Another Billy Nuke coming down. What are we looking at on the comm there? 7.4 thousand mass killed, 120 or 112 kills. He may be able to get to that point where he is a rapid-fire Billy Nuke aficionado. That's going to take a little while to achieve. This plateau over here completely destroyed by the egg roll. And, of course, Silent Scourge happy to bring his full force to bear upon the southern team. And now they are practically speaking down 1 player, or technically speaking, they're down 1 player, and practically 2, as Rumi Ranto, as much as we love the man, he's not doing much. He's sitting here and he's building billies and launching them and sometimes hitting something. As over to the east, the Rhinos with the shield comm in tow there, trying to get as much damage as possible. Shield comm itself at 3,000 damage, or 3,000 mass killed. That's not too shabby. And the Tempests at 20,000 and 39,000 each, looking good. Is it still 112? Yep, he completely missed with that Billy Nuke. But he can keep on trying, as there's a chicken in the middle, and now he's built torrents. Oh my lord. Eggroll, a man after my own heart. We're gonna really quick just grab a screenshot of that, because that is indeed beautiful to see. And Team 2 in a rough position here. Terrai going for laser. Maybe he feels like it's desperation play time, but he is sitting on 400 mass a second. So is the Eggroll, of course. But why not just mass experimentals? I'm very curious. He's done very little this game with this massive economy he has built. As the Monkey Lord sieges towards Thunderer's base with a large T3 army in tow and the artillery in the back line giving long-range support, it's gonna be pushing in. Can it possibly kill off Thunderer? His comm is just right there. It's easy pickings if he can make it happen. But no, there was a Revenant snipe up to the north that killed off Silent Scourge, which means all of these... Oh no, the Monkey Lord's gonna die, and right before it could get to the comm, Oh no, it's a disaster, and Tetra was also killed by that strap bomber snipe out from Tarai. I was saying, what is he doing? And unfortunately, what he is doing is winning the game with no share. Those two players going down is easily way more important than all of the control being exerted by the egg roll. He is now sending SCUs out to the corners of the globe to try and reclaim this territory. But it's gonna take him a while to come online. Maybe if he can get all of this territory under his belt in a 5 to 10 minute window and not take any damage in that time, we could see a very real situation in which he can just overpower Tarai with his economy. But until that happens, we're looking at a very desperate situation for the northern team, as a Monkey Lord out from It's Your Funeral is marching in. It's going to try and get some damage down on towards Ponysaurus. Unfortunately, that's going to be nothing but a mass donation. And as the T3 army walks in towards Rumoranto, who's trying to build Ravagers and T1PD desperately, I think we're going to see our first ejection from Team 2. Rumiranto, his commander, managing to rack up a grand total of 121 kills and 12,000 mass killed with that Billy Nuke upgrade. But unfortunately, I think that's the end for him, that's the end for you, my friend. I don't know, he's not really dying. They're not focusing the commander. A lot of revenants coming in. Gonna be able to kill off those harbingers. As we look over to the east, oh my god, I love it. Every map is boat map if you're determined enough. And with the Tempests firing onto that spider, you have to imagine its days are numbered. Pew pew, and the Tempest almost assuredly kills off that nearly dead Monkey Lord. And down it goes. You can see the megalith in the background. I had some people ask, what is that thing on the back of the megalith right there? That is the low poly version of the model. In fact, I can show you another example. You see how we get away in the Aeon Tempests right there? They change a little bit. They change a little bit. That's their low poly form. And what that means is that every unit has two unit models. One is high poly, one is low poly. The low poly one for the megalith happens to be the megalith with the Brackman version. There's also a high poly version of the Brackman megalith, but for some reason in the low poly version they just made one, and they made two for that mission in particular in the campaign. And that means that this kind of artifact from the way the game works is in the game and on full display. And unfortunately, though, for Team 1, Eggroll is going to be able to reclaim most of this territory, retake it, reconquista, and take it over. But they lost so much standing value, and the armies here were worth 60... This is 60,000 after a bunch of reclaim. Over 100,000 mass dumped on the doorstep of Tarai, and he is the main man getting it. As the megalith goes down, Tarai builds a megalith of his own. Strat bombers still sitting around, kicking myself a little bit for missing those strat bomber snipes. I did watch this replay before casting it, by the way. It was sent in by a good friend of mine, and he promised it didn't desync. So I went ahead and decided to cast it blind. Trying to do more blind casts. Maybe I'll do that with specifically icy replays, just because I think it A, makes me a better caster, and B, makes them a little bit more entertaining. Team 1 in a very rough position right now. I know it's looking good for Eggroll, sitting on 700 mass a second, and overall, they are massively ahead economically. But it just feels as though Tarai has the answers right now. He doesn't have the economy of the Eggroll, but the Eggroll is still spending a lot of that set economy on more economy. He's rebuilding T3 mexes. That's expensive. Strategic launch detected. Going for Tarai. He doesn't have an anti-nuke, but his ally over here, It's Your Funeral, does. And oh, that's gonna be painful, as It's Your Funeral going to save Tarai, who did have an anti-nuke. I'm wrong, it just wasn't loaded. I just assumed with him moving everything away, he didn't. Was yours loaded? No, it was not, Eggroll. You could have had it if it wasn't for Funeral. As a GC starts to waltz its way in, but this GC is alone. And there's 2 Monkey Lords and a Megalith over here. 3 Megaliths, in fact. No Monkey Lords, just Megaliths. Ready for Tarai to just stamp their way forward and cause a lot of pain and suffering. There's also a Monkey Lord over here to the east, which is having terrain disagreements. This Monkey Lord almost assuredly gonna die here. The Megaliths over here walking their way forward, and there you go, you get an even better look at it. That's the thing on the back of the Brackman Megalith, and it's in the low poly version of the Megalith itself. And the GC fighting the Monkey Lord. Gonna be a very, very one-sided ordeal, especially with a Tempest shot coming in. Whew! Right out from right field. And just destroying him. And Eggroll building a lot of experimentals. Another GC done, and he has set up a formidable line of land production. May even set some assistance on it, as he's over 800 mass a second. But you have to be asking yourself, when do you start going for that standoff technology? And for the game enders, when do you start building a Paragon and praying? I don't think that moment is quite appropriate just yet. And over here, I didn't mention it, but Rumi Ranto has rebuilt. And he now has 126 kills and 14,000 mass killed on his Billy Nuke. He's not playing FAF, he is playing his own little game, and we're going to leave him in the corner to do it. As it would seem, Book of Guns has taken the reprieve as a chance to rebuild over here to the eastern side. He's been on this plateau trying to build up again. A Paragon now on the way for Rainbow Turtle, being mostly built by Book of Guns, who has 50 mass a second. Very solid for building a Paragon. And Tarai has built yet another experimental, this time a Tsar. Got Aeon technology from somebody. A T3 engineer is all he has. Would like to see him throw up a Quantum Gateway just as an in case. Don't want to lose that Aeon tech. Must have gotten it from his ally Rainbow Turtle. 3 Megaliths in the middle being thwarted by a Fat Boy. A Flying Roach has had a relatively quiet game. That's a lot of TMD. That is a lot of buzz kills. The 3 Megaliths forced back, 1 dying in fact. As down here to the southeast, a bunch of Harbingers are fighting a bunch of T1 units, as well as a couple Sprite Strikers that, unfortunately, this one seems like it may get killed. But that's a bunch of Strat Bombers. And Strat Bombers are a big problem right now for Eggroll. He needs an air grid. He needs some form of air to start dealing with all these Strat Bombers out on the field. He's building a lot of SAM sites, but is it enough? He now has 3 Tempests and 2 GCs. Another screenshot, because I think I just found the thumbnail. But my lord. These Tempests also, I want to point out, have been massively successful. 85,000 mass killed with 185 kills, 174,000 mass killed, 2,500, but this one's only been done for a minute, maybe 2. And the triple Tempest working wonders now for the Eggroll. Very interesting strategy, happy to see it. A little bit worried though, as the Eggroll is looking at a very heavy air problem coming to his near future. His team theoretically has air control, and these Tsars may just die to the ASF if they commit, but the ASF would die to all of these SAM sites. But neither team having a strong amount of air presence right now means that these Strat Bombers out from Tarai are just kind of uncontested. Would love to see Eggroll try and step his toes into the air, or I guess float his toes upwards and reach the air. But he is stalling as much mass as he is making. What the hell are you building? Oh, he's building an emissary. That's a lot of mass! Oh man, one of the Tempests died. How? Oh no, there's massive tactical missile batteries coming in. Is it going to be able to pick off another Tempest? This Tempest with 5 vet almost died to the first barrage. The Infinity class cruiser saving it right there, but needs to be careful. More TMD thrown up, but losing that Tempest does not feel good. This one going to regenerate very quickly. 125 health a second is nothing to slouch at. Strat bombers coming in, trying to stop the land push coming out from the Eggroll. He's still trying to make land and navy work, but unfortunately for him, Czars and Restorers are on the field. And it's looking like he may just need to focus a bit more on this kind of strategy here with the emissary. And maybe even step into air himself. We have 2 players in air for Team 1. That would be Beautiful Soup and, of course, Ponysaurus. Ponysaurus fancying himself another attempt at an attack on this western flank, but now there's Percivals and Ravagers and stuff, and he probably has a Billy Nuke loaded. I don't think I can tell from this cam, but... Oh, he got rid of Billy for shield! He gave up on his strategy, as a Disruptor has been finished now for Tarai. And he is using it on the northern side's air player. He has some shields up, but will they last long enough? Eggroll throwing out the GG as his land force was destroyed. I'm missing so much. I should have watched this before casting it. There's too much going on. And to the west, 3 GCs marching their way down. Loving to see all the Aeon experimentals in this game. Marching down into the base of Rumiranto. There's unfortunately, though, 2 Megaliths and 2 Czars that have something to say about it. Rumiranto gonna be chased down. One of the GCs is gonna go down pretty much immediately to Rumiranto, or to the Czars. Unfortunately, they're right-clicked onto the comm, which means they get into range, shoot for a second, and then have to walk again. They kill off the commander. And the Czars, I don't know why they've been allowed to live so long with the air advantage that Beautiful Soup has had. But Beautiful Soup losing his air production very soon. He has a lot of Strat Bombers sitting around. Would be worth it to just try and throw them at the comm of Tarai, but he has Cloaking. Such an elusive target. Maybe even go for Thunderer, or even if you're thinking you could make it to It's Your Funeral, needs to use them though. As another Tempest has gone down and we're left with the last of the 3. It's gonna kill off a Megalith and go up to 96,000 mass killed, but Eggroll, he doesn't seem to have the units to break through. He still has a commanding economic lead. And he's built an emissary to start throwing fire back towards the 2 Disruptors coming out from Tarai. But Tarai gonna try and throw up a shield upgrade, and he's getting it very quickly. Needs to make sure he keeps his shields online. And Tarai looking a little bit unassailable here. He's just making all of the late game moves you want to see. Mass Megalith for land defense along with some Czars. Building up a decent amount of air to be very annoying. Especially those Strat Bombers changing the course of the game heavily. And with the emissaries, which the emissary is by far the best of the T3 artillery, in case you were curious. Yes, it's the best. It's always had the best range, and I think it still does. That may have changed with the range update to the artillery. Let's see. Well, we have a lot of ASF coming in, but only one Czar is going to go down. Czar's going to go down, though, and, oh, could have taken out a shield, but not quite lucky enough to. But the emissary sitting on 825 range versus the Disruptor sitting on 825 range. They have the same range. I think the emissary still is considered the best, but at one point that was the main reason it was the best. Second emissary that was attempting to build goes down. And It's Your Funeral moving out. With 3 Czars, he may just be able to take down Eggroll here. There's a lot of Sams in the area. And the first Czar goes down before even reaching the base. The second follows suit, and the third might be able to land on the Eggroll itself, but not going to make it happen. The shield's absorbing a lot of that fall damage on the second one, meaning Eggroll's relatively healthy. But now with all those shields going down, the Disruptor Fire is going to come in, and that second emissary is all but dead. And with that, I think it may be all she wrote. I don't know what happened with all those Strat Bombers, but I don't think they were able to successfully do anything. Now with a land push, though, maybe we could see something with this Fat Boy and all these Percivals out from a Flying Roach. But there's 5 Megalith in the close proximity to stop this. And with that, Purple throws a Czar in. He's gonna be able to kill off a power generator, but the Disruptor critically survives. And that Czar is going to be rebuilt, or is going to be reclaimed in record time. Tarai is just overflowing 4,000 mass casually. That's like Paragon overflow right there. And now it would seem that Team 1 has exhausted all of their options. Eggroll going to desperately try and rebuild emissaries. 100,000 mass killed on multiple Tempests this game wasn't enough. Book of Guns gonna lose this base for the 15th time. As he continues to eco up, almost to 3-digit eco again. Round of applause, everybody, for Book of Guns. He is really tenacious, to say the least. But with the Disruptor spam coming out from Tarai, gotta ask yourself that question: how long until he just has that critical mass and cannot be dealt with? Now targeting a Flying Roach. At this point, he could just target anti-nukes and call it a day. In fact, Eggroll, I don't even believe, has an anti-nuke. He's just sitting here in the breeze, maybe had one, but has taken so much damage in recent memory. Probably unable to reconcile the damage done. And he's probably running out of options, and he's a bit brain fried. 1,000 mass a second is a lot. But you've been playing the game for 44 minutes and you've been doing a lot during that time. You start to lose track of it and lose APM. As the Megalith starts to push in, about to kill off that Fat Boy, but not quite able to do it. Forced to run back towards the water and eat more shots from that Tempest. And the Eggroll looking like he's winding up for one last big land push against Thunderer, who has to be said, he's kind of the unsung hero of this game right now, holding out against the overwhelming economic pressure and damage being thrown his way. He has had help, but he's the one they've been targeting over and over, and he has stood tall. As the Disruptor Fire continues to fly in, assistance on shields going to be critical here. But shields going down, he's having some struggles with it. Trying to make sure that the shields are doing well, has to keep microing these SUs. But with 3 disruptors online, it's starting to just be too much. He's now starting to build disruptors in a line with T1 Pigeons. And 3 disruptors is a lot to try and shield against without active shield micro. The damage just overlapping and hitting all the shields at once. You have to assist 1 or 2 of them to make something happen. And he needs to start assisting more than just one of them, but he's getting up his own. And it has to be said, the shielding out from Tarai is very micro intensive right now. He has very few shields, but he has to assist them perfectly. Not that he's doing too much else on the map. He does have megaliths floating around, but they're not actively trying to siege or attack or anything at the moment. And disruptor fire coming in, dealing some damage onto that emissary, but that emissary is going to survive. A Duke on the way for a flying roach. Not sure how long that will take to finish. We also have an emissary nearly finished for Thunderer, and It's Your Funeral has been defeated by Eggroll. I have no idea what got him there. That was the emissary fire. Oh, he got one back with the emissary fire. Maybe that opens him up a chance to attack on the ground. Strategic launch detected. Where's it going? I don't know. It's going now for the base of Thunderer. Does he have an anti? It doesn't seem so. And that is gonna land. And oh my lord, did Eggroll just pull back the game? Did he take this almost assured defeat and turn it into a victory? He still needs to keep his shielding up. He still needs to keep these emissaries alive. They're critical for him. He needs them alive. He doesn't need the power adjacent to the emissaries. He just needs to keep them online and firing. And they're now firing at the back line. Killed off that Paragon that was trying to be built, the very ambitious one. Don't know how far along that one was. And over here to the west, Strat Bomber coming in. And with It's Your Funeral going down, that's a lot of reclaim, but Tarai has already been getting a ton of reclaim and being unable to spend it. Tarai is still a force to be reckoned with, though. He has 4 disruptors, a 5th now on the way. And that is an artillery shotgun if ever I've seen one. And he's just wiping the base of a flying roach off the map now with them. It's a lot of Strat Bombers. If the emissaries focus Tarai and the Strat Bombers come in and take out the shields, that could be a way to come back into this and win it for Eggroll. But he seems more focused on killing off the air players. Eggroll also sitting on a formidable land force. All of these Strat Bombers flying around. Strategic launch detected. Is going for this base up here on the plateau. Is there an anti-nuke? I'm not seeing one. Maybe it got shot down, but I think this is going to be another nuke landing. And it is indeed going to be just that. And with this, Eggroll has just turned it around. But no, we see it in the background there. Eggroll just lost all of these SCUs. It knocked him down below 1,000 mass a second, down to 800. He lost it all. Eggroll just taking a huge blow right there. Oh no. He doesn't have the emissaries anymore. And there's now about to be a 5th disruptor online. Another emissary firing at the base of Tarai. But maybe they have enough on the ground. The ground is looking really light now for Team 2. Maybe Eggroll can pull it back. Can get himself in a position. The key thing, though, is Polysaurus is in a really rough position right now, and the disruptors could just kill him. He needs to make sure that he is not standing where he is right now, which is the most volatile place in his base. He's going to finish another shield, but is it going to be in time? No, it won't, and the volatile structures kill him off. And with that, it's just the Eggroll and the Flying Roach to try and push through this. There's a ton of Strat Bombers now on the field for Tarai. Maybe he can make something happen. Maybe he can come in and kill off that Guardian SMD. As the Eggroll tries to push forward, he only has a single GC, and now there are Zars on the map, along with 2 Megaliths. I mean, he has a lot of Sniper Bots and Harbingers here, but is it enough, is the question. He's also had to invest a ton into Redeemers. as those will help him deal with the multiple Zars, or maybe it's just one. Hard to tell when they're stationary. And now we're seeing the GC meet the Megaliths. The Harbingers have heck loads of DPS. These Megaliths look like they're going to be very strong, but they're going to fall apart very quickly. You're watching their health HP go down in an instant to all of this concerted Harbinger fire. But there needs to be enough Redeemers here to take out this Zar, or there needs to be an air intervention of some sort. Otherwise, this push is just going to fall like all the last ones. And the Zar falling deals enough damage there. The Tempest shot comes through. More Strat Bombers coming in, killing off the remaining Monkey Lord. It's Tarai versus the world. But Tarai has killed off the air player's base. Tarai has ecoed out of his mind, and it looks like he's going to get the W for it. Finally ahead of Eggroll economically. And Eggroll has a fortress built here in the middle, but his allies do not, and he still needs that allied support. Another Zar thrown up as quickly as the last one died. And those Zars pivotal for the land defense of Tarai. Oh, is it Terrari? I didn't see the second R. Oh god, that's all the comments are gonna be now, isn't it? I'm sorry, Terrari. It's hard to read, man. It's a yellow name. Yellow is not a kind color for text. Oh well, I'll eat that one in the comments. I'll eat that shame that's gonna be thrown at me. Terrari, I remembered your name before the end of the cast, and I stopped butchering it. The commander of Beautiful Soup says Control K. I'm guessing an artillery shell hit him. And Eggroll left with nothing to really say or do about his situation right now. He has T3 air, but it's just a matter of right-clicking on that base for Terrari to shut that down. His land attacks have proven ineffectual at best. A flying roach killed off by the Zar as it falls. And now the Eggroll is alone. And he looks afraid. Has a bunch of Strat Bombers built up, but where are the Strat... you can't find the commander of Terrari. If he could, then maybe there's a chance. But even then, he has to get through a lot of shields, and I don't know if he has enough Strat Bombers to do that. I mean, 23 is almost enough to get through anything, though. In fairness. Hardcore man action. All I wanted was a nice late night game, not some fucking hardcore man-on-man action, lol. Man-on-man got you? I don't know what that means. He pissed now, lol. Billy Rush OP. Well, I see I should have gone sweaty rather than make Tempest. No! The Tempests were good, and I will stand by your Tempest play. Maybe you built too many, I will say that. But the Tempests were a good play. If your allies did not get strat sniped, your Tempests win the game here. But your allies got strat sniped, and you don't have any control over that. He's trying to find the commander. All it takes is one scout flying perfectly over the base. He just needs a bunch of scouts to be built. Although there's now a bunch of ASF heading out to deal with that. Alright, there's ASFs coming to respond, but there's honestly not all that many, and if they waste a lot of shots on the first couple ones, they won't get most of these Strat Bombers. They're coming in. Do they see the comm? Are they targeting the commander? Oh, they are! Is it gonna be enough? Tarai going down to 12,000 HP. Oh, that's a depressing moment. 3,000 HP. He was 2 Strat Bombers away. He was 2 away. It was 3,000 Terrari. Sorry, I've said his name wrong the entire cast. I was watching an egg roll control Ks. Thank you all for watching. You've been beautiful. Consider subscribing. Thank you to the patrons and channel members. If you want to get extra benefits and you want to have your name at the end of casts or to get access to each video early, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and of course joining the channel membership or Patreon to get those special benefits. Of course, you all are beautiful. I weirded that real weird. No, just liking, commenting, and subscribing does not give you access to videos early or get your name at the end of the video, thankfully. But joining the channel membership will give you access to every video early, and joining the Patreon, you get your name at the end of every video. You all are beautiful. I'll see you in the next one. This is Willow, signing off.
But if I lay down and I play dead